Let's talk about how we've been conditioned to view safety and security, and why safety and security are actually illusions when it comes to career. So, one of the biggest fears I see people have in their career is the fear of the unknown. And this includes me, right? And what we tend to do is that we cling to the status quo, believing that's safety, right? But that's only there to distract us from the feeling of being unsafe that we're constantly feeling, that we're holding on to this thing that we know. And as a result, we're creating this static identity by erasing parts of ourselves, by showing up a certain way, by speaking a certain way, by dressing a certain way, in order to have this illusion of safety, right? And it's also why when we have desires or we are feeling trapped and we want to do something different, we're constantly second guessing ourselves and worried about getting it wrong because the consequences feel dire. And that is actually true given the career model that we're operating in, right? Where losing a job can mean being homeless and being on the streets and not being able to take care of your basic needs. So this makes sense. The system that we're operating in requires us to be in this space where we're second guessing ourselves, because that's how the status quo gets perpetuated. That's how a system that requires us to play small gets perpetuated when we're in this state. But also, one of the things that we can do is start to learn to trust ourselves. And I know that's a term that gets thrown out a lot, and it's not easy to do that precisely because we feel that there's so much on the line. But it's also to recognize that safety comes with being okay with the unknown, right? And just noticing the spaciousness in that and how that feels if you were okay with the unknown, right? How would you show up differently in your career? What desires would you act on? What would be the next steps that you take? And check in with yourself, right? Because the thing is that we were made to believe that safety is holding on to the known, and the known is actually the status quo. And that means compromising ourselves, betraying our desires, and playing small.